again, and welcome to my review for Dirty Grandpa. Directed by Dan Mazer and written by John Phillips, it stars Robert De Niro and Zac Efron. This movie is about an uptight young man who's about to marry a control freak of a woman, and his grandfather, after his wife dies, decides to trick him into taking him to Florida so they can have some fun with girls. Now let me tell you, I was excited about this movie. I laughed a lot at the trailers. Then I was kind of disencouraged because this movie was coming out in January. We all know what that means, right? Look, this movie has got a lot of funny moments. Robert De Niro and Zac Efron's chemistry is really good. I was really surprised at that, and I would like to see them again in another movie. Probably a better one than this. This story becomes too cliché at points, and the humor in this becomes also very jumbled. You have good humor, bad humor, you have subtle humor, you have aggressive humor, you have very, very raunchy humor. And overall, this movie is very raunchy, and if you are easily offended, I would not recommend this movie to you at all, because you're gonna get offended, my friends. I mean, this goes to distances I didn't think it would go, and I was surprised at that, both in the positive and in the negative. Look, you all know what this movie is going to end up on when they arrive on Florida, and there's an old friend of Zac Efron's there. I don't need to say anything else because you know what's going to happen. Because as it turns out, this movie isn't really about his grandfather banging young chicks. It's really about his grandfather showing him he needs to live and not be so uptight and not live by other people's standards. And I like that element of the story. I just didn't like the way it resoluted because it's too cliched. I like the message he was trying to convey because, again, Robert De Niro and Zac Efron's chemistry is really good in this. And they are good actors. Zac Efron just needs to get a better agent because it's screwing up his career, and this guy needs to go places because he can go places. Look, I'm not going to talk shit about Robert De Niro. The guy's amazing in anything he does because he cares, not unlike you. You suck. He's got the best jokes in this. When he starts calling names, I'm not going to spoil it, it's really funny. The problem then is that he stops calling him those names, but all the other characters start calling it, and they don't know him, so they couldn't possibly have that knowledge to call him that. You know, they don't know how he is. Then there are some characters who are just there for being there. There's this character who's just there to be what he is and being a trope. He's nothing more than a trope. I mean, it was just annoying to see that the first time he speaks and Robert De Niro speaks to him for the first time, I'm like, okay, I know what you're gonna do. I know what you're here for. I know how this is gonna end. Then you see some guys messing with him at a club, trying to beat him up, and Robert De Niro looking, and you're like, okay, this is that part. And there are many similar situations in this movie. As soon as some characters say some lines or gives some look to somebody or something, you're like, oh, this is that part of the cliched comedy, and this is that part of the cliched comedy, and it's full of cliches. There are really shining moments in this movie. I mean, comedy gold moments in this movie. The problem is what surrounds it. And again, you find yourself picking up pieces of a good movie, of a good comedy, of good material, surrounded by the sea of just trash and not funny stuff. The first joke that actually works in this movie comes at like 15 minutes in the movie. The first scene is just cringing because it's bad. It's really, really bad. Look guys, I cannot say I recommend this movie. If you have a free weekend and you want to see a comedy with two good actors and their chemistry is great, I say go watch this. Maybe you'll like it. Movies are subjective. But I cannot appreciate it, and at the end I found myself giving it again a Clark Gable. Thanks for watching guys, thank you so much for the support I'm getting on this channel. The link for my Facebook page is in the description box down below. Go there and give it a like and share the page with your friends, probably they like it. Subscribe for more, let me know what you thought of Dirty Grandpa, let me know what you want to see next. I'll go see Spotlight and Regression this week, so stay tuned. Bye bye.